You can now put people in timeout. Uh-oh. Good. I'm glad they're offering that. Why does YouTube recommend vertical? It shouldn't recommend vertical. Cinema is changing, everyone. That's what the message. I think I just got a job. I think I just got hired. Wow, that was amazing. I just got this amazing phone call. I basically just got hired, I think. Well, that's big news. I thought I was going to get fired. I literally thought I was going to lose my job. And I mean, well, I'm kind of. I'm not getting fired, but like my work role possibly is going to be changing at. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it on the live stream. I did want to talk about Citizen Kane. Well, this is what I want to do. These are going to be new experiments I want to do. I want to do 5-minute live streams where I just sort of dip in because I've been, I typically save it for like these 2-hour long things. I thought YouTube wanted long videos, but now they're all like recommending to me these short videos. That's one reason why I started making videos that were 3 hours long, because apparently if you have viewer retention for a long time, that was like what YouTube preferred. So I was trying to do that. And I like talking for hours and hours and hours alone by myself to a camera that nobody watches, obviously. But I thought maybe, it might be interesting to try to dip in kind of more times throughout the week for maybe like 5 minutes at a time. See how that goes. Rather than just like, because I've been kind of bad because, it is kind of a big show to do a 2-hour rant. And so I'm kind of bad about, I've been not doing it every week, but I get a good response from time to time on some of my live streams, and so it's something that I do want to actively, I left the comments on, I think, for this one. It's something that I actively want to practice. I want to make it more a part of my practice, and this is, attempting it from different, vantages and things, I think is kind of a fun, different approaches, different proportion sizes, It's like poetry. Sometimes you have super long poems, sometimes you have short poems, sometimes you have, this will be like a sonnet length live stream. Or maybe a haiku. Maybe I should do some haiku live streams. So, yeah, I've got my books. I sort of, I mean, so I don't know, it's kind of a breath of fresh air. I've been sort of, resenting literary culture for the past few years. So I haven't really been plus I just resent these things. I have to lug them around, through this like endless train of apartments that just like from place to place where they raise your rent or you can't afford it, or it's too, there was a bus station nearby, there's too much smog, you had to leave. So, my stuff's been in storage since like February in boxes, and you don't really realize what that does to you psychologically, having your things around you. And I mean, these books, it's just such a wealth of knowledge and material. And like, I do think it's been important as an artist to just draw from the air, go to events, see poets, go to open mics, see those poets, go to, my job at Poetry Project, I go to the readings and shit. So, I'm seeing all kinds of different poetry all the time. But not necessarily being holed up. Plus, it's like, I put my stuff in storage like in February, March. So, like, that was like the beginning of spring. I haven't really been indoors. This is all kind of about being outdoors. School's out, the school of life. These are the rules of life and the school of life. And so going out into the world and learning from people, learning from reality, learning from the streets, right? We are poets of the streets, on the streets. We're not academics. We're not institutionalized. We're not domesticated. We don't piss in the litter box. We're stray cats, okay? God bless the stray cats. God bless the street cats that are just roaming around. Wouldn't that be a great life? When I get reincarnated, I want to come back as like a street cat that just roams around. That's basically what I do. It's about ranging. Every day you have to range. You have to walk a territory. You have to look. That's the cat within. The cat within us needs to range, okay? Like the other night when I went to Hellfire. Oh, it's been 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. My time's up. See, if that was my comedy set, it'd already be over. You're just getting cooking at 5 minutes. That's why I have to do an hour. We're doing an hour coming up at Columbia, right? Thank you, Ashley, for booking us. It's the college tour. Bye, Kiwi Mountain. Thank you for watching. It's the college tour. We're going to Yale this weekend, weather permitting. You know, it's hurricane season in New York. Everybody knows this. It's September. I've lived in New York. I lived through Sandy. I lived through Hurricane Ida, or Tropical Storm Ida, whatever it was. I didn't even notice that one. It's like it rains in New York. I don't know. September in the rain. It's the rainy season here. I don't know. I did not expect this. I had no idea this was going to happen. They should have warned us. I can't believe I didn't get any kind of like caught. Oh my God, there's like it's going to be flooding. It's going to be, it's like a month's worth of rain. And like, I woke up this morning, it's like, it's some kind of weather emergency slightly. So I thought it'd be a good time to live stream because everybody's inside. I guess people are at work. But like I said, this is an experiment. I want to try these shorter live streams where I just sort of like dip in, share some thoughts, and then dip out as they occur to me. One of the things I've been meaning to address in my live stream is just I want to give back to the community. I don't know. Although I do feel like a lot of, I don't know. I don't want people to think that I'm like an egomaniac who just wants people to bow before me and, I don't care about anybody else's events or anything, or I care about the community. But it's like, a lot of it's just about public opinion. They build you up and then they tear you down. Or like, people, maybe I could be a better, you should still be humble and in the trenches and side by side with people. You shouldn't think you're better. And I don't. It's more just like, I don't know. Now it's harder for me to go to open mics and be just like slip in and out. I get high and then I get nervous and I get anxious. And I know this is what happened the other night. I know that if I start talking to people, I'm going to be the last person there because I always am. If I start a conversation with somebody, I'll talk for fucking hours until they have to leave. Like the other night at Hellfun, I was there till the show was over at 9. I think I left at like 11 or midnight or something because I was talking to Joe Briggs. Shout out Joe Briggs. And to call him a racist ventriloquist is not actually correct because his jokes were not racist. They were more anti-Semitic. But he's also, he's not white and he was Jewish at one point. So he kind of has a right maybe. So anyway, I just wanted to, we were having a great conversation, 4 hours later, I'm still there. This is why it's hard for me to go to open mics because I know if I go, I don't know what it's just, you're signing up for just like a huge thing. It used to be, okay, and I'm not complaining, but I've had a life in open mics for a long ass time. And I've always been the weirdo who kind of stands out because I read louder than everybody else. Thanks, Ashley. And have great energy. If you tell me I have great energy, I'll kill you. My absolute least favorite thing is when people tell me I have great energy. It is not a compliment. Any idiot can have great energy. No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate whatever nice things people want to say about me, but please don't tell me I have great energy. Please tell me I'm a genius. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I've been through this fucking rodeo a few times. I've been through this washing machine, laundry cycle. What's the metaphor I'm looking for? I've been put through the ringer like this a few times. So I've seen the arc of this, and maybe it is my personality. Maybe I do get cocky or something. I'm just trying to do my show every week. That's like, that's like the consistency thing. Is I'm really trying to hit this and make this work, and it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time. And I am trying to make it a fun show and develop it, and part of that is going to other people's shows and meeting performers, meeting musicians, meeting poets, meeting comedians. I love doing that. I've been doing open mic life my whole life. I love open mics. It's really the ultimate form of entertainment. It's performative communism. It's how it should be. Everybody shares. It's a big kumbaya circle where we all hold hands around the fire and share our magic. It's how it should be. I love open mics. I'm committed to open mics. I'll probably, thank you, KGB. It was a 1-year anniversary this week. About half the people canceled because of the rain. It was raining. I thought the rain would bring people out. I had like over 60 people signed up. I had to turn a bunch of people away because I had so many goddamn people signed up, which I don't like to do. I do not like turning people away ever. That's money. That's 2 drinks. Bam, bam, bam. I want to sign everybody up. But like 30 people didn't show up. So it was a great night anyway. It's still kind of like that season where people are going inside. They're not ready to just, people are kind of snuggling or something. It's snug, it's warm. So yeah, it was our 1-year anniversary. But going to other open mics, it used to be I could just slip in, slip out. I would always meet a number of people. I love doing that. I love meeting new artists. It's like being a talent scout. You go to open mics, there's always 2 or 3 people that really you fuck with and speak to you, and so I usually try to talk to them afterwards, and make friends. Social networking. We're always networking, making connections. To me, it's about culture. It's not really networking is the modern metaphor because everything is computers now. We're hooking up. Everything is a fucking computer metaphor. So we're networking with each other. Oh my God, I've got 2 viewers. Thank you for watching, everybody. It's Clinton era here. Yeah, it's my dinner with Andre night on Monday. I don't expect anybody to do anything or even understand the theme. It's just an excuse for me. I want to start out with this. I've always wanted to do my dinner with Andre night, and so I just thought, fuck it. It's Mike-tober. Everybody get ready. It's Mike-tober. In October is Mike-tober, so we're going to be kicking ass all month. This is when things really get moving. It's Mike-tober. So we're kicking off Mike-tober with my dinner with Andre night. I think the people at Hellphone were freaked out by my act. I think they thought I was kind of a pansy. The anti-Semitic ventriloquist said I was prancing. He said I was prancing around the stage, which is not really an inaccurate thing to say. I was prancing. That's part of my act. That's hoofing, is what we used to call it. 5, 6, 7, 8 in the old days. Tap, 2, 3, da. We're prancing, okay? I'm not afraid to prance, okay? As a cishet, old school, whatever. Sorry, I apologize. I'll prance. I'm fine with it, okay? That's a big part of my act. It's just about it's about razzmatazz, something people don't really... It freaks people out, especially when you get high 5 minutes before the show. But, okay, here was my big victory. I loved it. Thank you, Claire Lichtenstein. Thank you for putting me on your... It was an amazing show. She puts on a hell of a show. It was a great show. It's an amazing venue. I met the owners of the venue. They were super cool people. Shout out to them. They're amazing. Hellphone is amazing space. Really, really amazing space. And this show was phenomenal. She booked... I get why she didn't book me. Because she's trying to do a great show. And I freak people out. But I felt comfortable with that. I felt like that was kind of my role. It was mostly stand-up comedy. And then I was there to do poetry, which I didn't know. I was going to do a talk piece about being a short king. But I'm not really a short king. I'm like a light medium. But I'm like a medium. but I wanted to talk about the Short King phenomenon. But she told me, she said I was like there to do poetry, so I was like, oh cool, I'll just do poetry. So I thought that kind of takes the burden off. And so what I did was I did all these readings outdoors in New York in 2021 before I went indoors again. That were very private. I had this amazing Bluetooth PA with a microphone, cordless mic, cost me $40. Yeah, 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. I'm just kidding cooking here, so I have to keep going. I have a lot of work to do. I have to go to Yale this weekend to see Indiana Jones. Dr. Jones and I are conferring on some archaeological matters on the museum. We're reading at the museum. Dr. Jones brought us to do a poetry art talk at his museum about the Lost Ark, so we're going to be speaking on that topic. And Last Crusade. My favorite Indiana Jones is Last Crusade. It's the funny one. And there's a lot of truth about life in the last fucking crusade. The leap of faith, okay? Only the penitent man will pass. Let my armies be the rocks and the trees and the birds in the sky. Suddenly I remembered my Charlemagne. Everybody can do a Sean Connery impersonation. Once Celebrity Jeopardy happened, everybody figured out Sean Connery. Suddenly I remembered my Charlemagne. Suck it. Yeah. Apparently Celebrity Jeopardy was just, Norm Macdonald came up with the idea, and it was Half-Wits from SCTV. It's basically the exact same skit, except with celebrities instead of high school, remedial high school kids. So yeah, it's a culture jam here, okay? We're just, it's a potpourri of non-disparate subject matter. It's My Dinner with Andre night. It's Mike-tober. Get in. So Hellphone, okay. Here was my victory. I thought I did a pretty good job. I mean, it was definitely, it was the avant-garde side of things. I don't know why audiences don't love me. I don't get it. Norm was telling the story about Sam Kinison. He said in the early days, he would do his screaming thing and people didn't really know how to react. They'd be kind of freaked out by it. He'd get right in people's faces and it would kind of scare people. But then Rodney Dangerfield said, this guy's great, and put him on his special and put him in his movies. And then all of a sudden, people love the screaming. You know, it's like Norm was saying, you have to tell them. You have to tell the audience what to like. And I think the audience doesn't know what to do with my act, which is kind of weird. I guess that's the point. It's supposed to be avant-garde and liberating behaviorally and energetically. I am trying to, like, raise the fucking vibration, you know? And I think we're doing it. To be honest, it is fair that people tell me I have great energy because, to be honest, when I'm on stage, that is the thing that I'm kind of most keyed into. I'm just trying to keep my energy positive and going up, 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 and bringing all the people with you, ideally. And that's why I jump around and shit, because I'm trying to get people fucking in their bodies and shook, you know? And so maybe I'll do half an hour, 25. Yeah, this will be maybe like a 22. This is like my sitcom length. They can put 8 minutes of commercials in. Apparently, somebody was telling me, see, this is why it's good hanging out with comedians. They were telling me a lot of people do podcasts just to get clips now. So what I'm going to start to do maybe is just take clips from my live stream of the best of scenes from a life, the best of Proctor. Jake and Louie was saying he's really into Opie and Anthony. See, I think the insults and the bad taste of the humor is like the gore in a movie. They're using their racial or whatever it is reduction of things and making it really. It's like gore in a movie. You know, they do it to get effect, and that's like the substance that they're working with. I wouldn't say that they're being racist. You know, it's just like they choose to express things in these exaggerated, kind of like dark ways. That's what he's into. You know, and to be honest, the audience loved it. At Hellphone, people loved fucking Jake and Louie. He did a great job. You know. It's ventriloquism. You have to accept that the ventriloquism is amazing. You know, like, that is not easy to do, and that's a skill. There's not that many people doing that out there. And so the puppet, the outfit, It's all coordinated. I like that kind of stuff. I like show business. I wore a suit on Wednesday because I wanted to do something nice for the people. I didn't want to show up looking like a fucking slob. You're in show business. You should look like it. You should look good. Black tie, you should dress up for the people. But this is like my alt comedy uniform. Whenever I do alt comedy shows, I wear this. This is like my 90s comedy premium blend outfit. Tompkins Square outfit. It's like my David Cross, Janine Garofalo, grunge comedian. So yeah, I spared the audience my talk piece. I thought I did a great job with my prancing and my sort of noise poetry. And there was a lot of behavioral. Shatner was my inspiration. I was like, let me just go full Shatner on this. Shatner is really got this beat poetry vibe. He puts out these albums and shit, and his whole delivery. Star Trek is very jazz influenced, I feel like. There's a lot of jazzy kind of beat kind of vibe to start. But Shatner's delivery is kind of, his whole thing is kind of, like, come on, man. It's kind of freaky, man. Like, get with it, man. It's like, I wanted to bring that to the people, so they were freaked out by it. I did a little bit of crowd work. The guy didn't love it, but so anyway, a couple people after me, and everybody was doing great. I mean, it was all really great acts. It was a lot of male comedians, so maybe that's why I got booked on it. It was maybe a toxic lineup, but so then this magician guy goes up, who I guess Claire has been trying to book for months, and you can see why, because he was a pro. I mean, the way he had command of the room. Like the way he doled out his tricks, you could tell he knew how to pace things. He was just kind of, he was like a magician you would have seen when you were a kid at some big luncheon or something with 200 people. Like, you can see, they were always bringing a magician to school or whatever. I haven't seen a magician in years, but until these open mics, I love it. It's beautiful. Carson started a magician, Orson Welles started as a magician. We are all magicians. We're all trying to be magicians. And it's just another way. I think all professional stage entertainers have to be magicians in a way. They have to be able to do sleight of hand in whatever it is that they do. They have to do something the audience goes, how'd they do that? They have to do something that seems totally effortless, but is like beyond normal person skill level. Every professional entertainer has to be able to do something like that. Whether you're a stand-up comedian, a singer, whatever, it's like the audience has to go, whoa, I can't do that. How did they do that? Like the best comedians do have something that's like a little bit, the 1% of the 1%. Like, this is one of the hard lessons I'm learning about show business in the big city, going through the grinder of all these shows is like, some people really do have, like, they're unicorns, right? Some people are 6'2" and hilarious and super hot and hardworking and blah, blah, blah. Like, you can, not that I like Jimmy Fallon, but, like, you can see why they parked all this, like, empire on him. Because he's just, like, he's 6'2", he's a workaholic. He sucks, but he's super play ball, Conan is like that, too. It's like he's 6'4". He's just a freak of comedy where he just, like, endlessly... He's what they needed for that show, Not everybody can do that, There's not very many... Taylor Swift is 6 feet tall. She's super hot, right? She's super smart. She's super smart about how she conducts her career. And she's a great writer, It's like... When you see this many entertainers, like at the open mic, it's like, some people, like a year, it's been a year, right? So there's been 2,000 performances. There's about 40 performances a night. It was about 50 shows. That's 2,000 performances. Some people did stand out, to be honest. I don't know if I saw anybody on a level where you're like, wow, that was Lady Gaga or something. But, like, there's definitely a few people that had a talent that was sort of above and beyond. And the audience kind of notices that. The audience can tell. So, like, this magician guy. I mean, everybody was talking about how hot this guy was. Everybody who went up after him was, like, this hot magician. He did this one trick where he guessed people's cards, like, he had a good sense of like the stage too, like the way he used the stage. He created kind of cool stage pictures. So it was like he was like the hit of the show, kind of. He didn't necessarily steal the show. I mean, everybody did great. I was weird. It was the weird kind of aperitif or whatever. I was like the palate cleanser, the poetry palate cleanser. I didn't feel when she told me I was doing the poetry, it kind of took all the pressure off because I felt like, okay, now I can just do what I do. And so with these performances in Central Park, I did bibliomancy. You know, I did all these performances outside, like I was saying during the pandemic, where I would take my notebook, but I wouldn't read in order of what I had written. I just kind of sift through the notebook and pick the best line that I saw. That's bibliomancy, right? Where you're just kind of letting the book tell you what to read, you know, finding the page you need. And so it was sort of like taking my lines and rewriting and making, you know, new poems every time with the same lines, which is sort of what the sonnets is, Ted Berrigan's sonnets. It's some of it, you know, there's these kind of reshuffling, reappearances of lines, you know. The same lines in different circumstance can have completely different effect and completely different meaning. It is all about context in a way. And to be honest, the order of my poems is not arbitrary, but it is meant to be out of linear sequence, even though it's chronological. I'll talk about things that happen. I'll talk about things that might happen. You know, it jumps around between time and space a lot. That's part of the point. And so inviting more of that is not necessarily detrimental. In fact, making an improvised kind of more fluid thing might actually work better because it's kind of returning to spontaneity where you're finding the right thing again, which kind of fuels the epiphanic burst of energy that the audience gets high on. But at the same time, I can tell that the audience doesn't love me. I can tell that these audiences, like, I don't know why. I don't know why. I thought as an adult, audiences would just love me and I would just kill. And it's weird how I have this kind of standoffish relationship with audiences some of the time. So anyway, that's what I did at Hellphone. I just told myself, okay, I'll do what I did in my readings in 2021. I'll just do bibliomancy and I'll kind of do weird. But I wanted to be quiet and I wanted to just, Kuzu Daddy had a good thing the other day where he said, you know, talking is your singing. I should have realized that 20 years ago. Talking is my singing. When I scream and stuff, not so good. But talking, it's about making it sound good. You know, when you read he said, it's not about what you're reading, it's about how you read it. Which is true, I think, in a way. If you read something in a way, I mean, both is true. It is about what you're reading, but, like, it is also about how you read it. And my reading style can be abrasive sometimes. I get super high and I just rip into it. And sometimes I get real out there. I try to tone it down. You know, most of the readings I do, I'm doing about a 10%. You know, I can go pretty hard. That's what System Lord is all about. System Lord is just about going as hard as possible. But most poetry readings, I'm doing about a 10% or maybe a 20%. And even with that, the audience gets freaked out. You know, at the open mic on Monday, I try to tone it down. I'm at about a 30 or 40% because I don't want to break anything or piss anybody off. And it's my job to be in control. But if you come see System Lord, that's when I'm really going all out, which is what I like to do. I don't know why the audiences get scared. I mean, I know why they do, but I thought they'd love it. I don't understand. It's a mystery to me. Maybe it's because they're not on drugs like I am. Get on my level is what I'm saying. Get on Molly, get on whatever you got to get on. Let's party. That's what it's about. That's why we're out here. So anyway, you know, I had 6 minutes. I thought I did okay. I thought I killed. I got a bunch of fist bumps afterwards from the comedians. So I thought, yeah, I did great. That doesn't happen every time. I got some fist bumps. People said I did awesome. So, but then it was like, you know, I didn't get that much attention after the show. But, you know, everybody loved the hot magician. He left early. He left before the show was over. He may have had another obligation. I'm sure he's in a lot of demand with his time. But he also probably wanted to slip out before everybody kind of mobbed him to talk to him. But before he left, he made a point. He stopped, he shook my hand, and he said, "That was great." And then he left. I was the one person. This is kind of my lot in life, you know? I think I just go over people's heads or something. Like, I think the audience was great, but I also think, like, you know, I got into this avant-garde thing kind of like when I moved to New York, and that's been my goal the whole time, especially during Trump era. I mean, the goal was not to be like some popular entertainer. The goal was to like deconstruct all of that and just like act out against the normal kind of complacency, you know, and the state and what was happening, you know, in this country. New York is a place where like serious adult fucking work is supposed to happen, you know? This is where the avant-garde is supposed to be. It isn't supposed to be just a bunch of fucking King of Queens, fucking Jason, or what's the guy, Kevin, not Jason King. Jason King is amazing. We love Jason King. Kevin James. You know, not that that guy sucks, but like, it's, because certain performers can do that and really draw the audience in. I don't know why the audience has this kind of like, maybe it's because maybe there's something in me that needs to open more. I feel like when I really open up to the audience and do what I think is like greatness, they also like and subscribe if you haven't already. Please like the video so the algorithm will push it to other people. I think the audience, I don't know. When I really open it up, a lot of times they get freaked out. So it's not always easy to show that side of myself. I wish the audience was more supportive, God damn it. I was listening to this Bob Odenkirk thing where he was talking about this Saturday Night Live sketch where he said it was one of the most brilliant pieces of comedy he'd ever seen. It was a sketch where Dana Carvey played Charlie Chaplin and blah, blah, blah. And it was like half filmed and half live. And he said they did it during the dress rehearsal or something, and no one laughed. He said no one in the audience laughed. He said it was one of the most brilliant, funniest pieces of comedy he'd ever seen. And he said no one in the audience laughed. And he said, thanks, fuck that audience for costing, because they cut it from the show. They said, this doesn't work, just get rid of it. And so I've never seen that skit. I've seen every fucking episode of Saturday Night Live, ever, many times. At least until 2000 or whatever. The first 25 years. So, like, the audience isn't always right. The audience can be vastly different in different places. And certain people get you and certain people don't. I mean, particularly when you're highbrow. And when you're the 1% of the 1%, like me, obviously. All right, is there anything else I want to talk about? I just want to talk about Citizen Kane, I guess, real fast before I sign off. This is my 35-minute, 5-minute live. These are experiments. I'm just jumping in. I've got a lot of work to do. I just got a job, sort of. I mean, it's extremely, extremely part-time-ish, but I did get hired. Sort of. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's all... I'm being onboarded. I'm being brought into the tax system, which I actually like. Okay, this is something I did want to talk about, is these strikes. These strikes are very important. This is something that people should be thinking about and taking note of. I just saw something the other day that said Trump is beating Biden in polls 52% to 42%, which is, I guess we shouldn't be surprised by anything. This country is insane. I think that's one thing we need to accept, is like, this country is diseased and insane. Like, talk about, like, the audience not being right. I mean, great poets need great audiences, right? That's what Walt Whitman said. The audience in this country is an idiocracy. They want fucking lowest common denominator. I don't even know. I don't even know what they're all watching The Voice or whatever, I guess. Or The Masked Singer. I don't know. The Masked Singer was pretty cool. We love show business, but these strikes are very important. And the fact, I know it's Hollywood and people hate fucking Hollywood because they're all just a bunch of weenies and left kind of smug, narcissistic, kind of condescending, patronizing. They think they're so great. But, they did win. And the auto workers thing that's happening now is very important. They're trying to go to a 4-day work week or something. And so I wouldn't say that I was on strike or anything. I have a problem with emails, particularly in poetry world, because usually when I get emails from poets, it's bad news or some kind of, and so I don't really like emailing. I don't like emailing at all. I don't like being online any more than I have to, and I like doing things in person. And so anyway, we did, for the last few years in this position, I've just sort of let them give me whatever they wanted to give me because I was just happy to be there. And I thought that they would do the right thing, to be honest. This is the mistake that I made. And this is the mistake that as workers we shouldn't make. I'm from Ohio, right? Where they train everybody to be just like a completely obedient, hardworking, great attitude, team player, energetic, fun-loving, family-oriented, love the Buckeyes, all of it. It's all indoctrination to get you to be a good worker and a good part of the military-industrial complex and the war machine and, the product consumer-based economy and all this shit. And so they don't want you to think you have any rights. They want you to just be happy to have a job and to work your ass off and to just accept whatever they give you. And as workers, a lot of the union power and the labor power and all this has been dismantled. People didn't give a shit about it, The ways that people understand the left now is all about, social issues. Whereas like labor power, that's the foundation of a real left, right? And so I worked at this prestigious institution. I was really stoked to be there. And, I didn't get paid that badly. Well, I did. But, like, my position has morphed over the years. And I've been getting paid the same amount of money since 2019. Which, like, obviously the price of everything has gone up a lot since then. Because of inflation, quote unquote. And, consumer exploitation by the people that own everything is what it is. The government should tax some of that money back from these fucking rich people. They have too much capital allocation. And so the workers should ask for it. The workers should say, hey, we're not going to fucking do this. And people have started to do that, right? And so I assumed I was going to get fired from this job. It's always been weird there. And I just assumed they wanted to get rid of me, and I did not think they were going to even have me back. And so I was getting these emails about this and that, and they said they were going to, like, they were working on our new contracts. And I was like, we've never had a contract. I'm not under a contract. I'm an independent contractor. I'm a gig worker, right? This is part of the way they've gotten rid of labor power and part of the way that they've disempowered us as people and prevented us from building wealth is they've made us all independent contractors, right? So there is no steady paycheck and there's no tax liability for them. The tax liability is on you as the independent contractor, which is, surprise, surprise, you have to pay twice as much taxes as an independent contractor because the employer is not bearing half of your tax liability. So even though, I was making even less than what I was actually making because the taxes weren't taken out because I was an independent contractor. So, I was part of the precariat, right? We've had a very precarious, there is no union job. There is no tenure. There is no full-time. There is no medical benefits unless you totally sell your soul to them, right? You're an independent contractor unless you work 32 hours a week and they own you. And so I was really surprised. I was just like, they're going to fire me anyway. And I think there was like less events than I normally work. So I was like, you know, I just went for broke in my email. I was just like, you know what? And the other thing is they never gave us any credit. You know, they went out of their way to give all these fucking people credit, people that did subtitles and this and that, and it's like they never gave the videographers credit at all. And it's like that's kind of fucked up, you know? Like you're giving you know, they go out of their way to credit who took a picture. You know, like that's a big social media thing. Oh, this person took these pictures, you know? They never fucking credit us for anything. So I just said, you know, I assumed I was going to get fired and I had nothing to lose. So I was just like, I need more money and I need credit, you know? Which it's amazing how hard it is to do that, right? That's why it's taken 4 fucking years. It's not easy. They want you to believe that you're shit and you deserve nothing. Not necessarily this organization in particular. That's just like the Devil Wears Prada kind of intern culture of New York City where it's like, they got 1,000 other people in line behind you who will do the job. So like, they can work you to death, pay you nothing, and you just have to accept it because it's a glamorous position and you're doing it because it might lead to something else, or you might get, like I said, we weren't even getting credit. So it's like, it was hard to say what, it was like charity. I was just doing this because I wanted to support poetry and shit, and it's like I can't really do that, you know? Like it went from being, you know, like something that where I wanted to give to like, you know, if I'm going to continue to do this, like you're going to have to give me more money and blah blah blah. And so we got what we wanted basically, but they're also bringing on another person, so it's like there's going to be more people fighting for the same amount of work. So it's like with everything, there's always like a caveat, you know? There's always like a way that they try to fucking disempower you. But anyway, that was my labor victory. I encourage everybody else to take a look at what's going on with these strikes. Like and subscribe, please, if you're watching. President Biden joined the picket line, right? Cannonball, what's up? Looking forward to the thing on October 8th. I'm just doing a short live stream. I was going to sign off in a second, but thank you for tuning in. I'm talking about the strikes that are going on right now. And, you know, it's insane to me that people want to vote for fucking 52% of the people want to vote for Trump. When Biden, I mean, great, he's old. They should get rid of him. They should get somebody else. It's just insane that they're going to run him again, but you know, who gives a fuck if he flubs shit and he's old? Like, as long as the country's running smoothly, and it seems to be. I mean, right? I definitely am liking the way things have been going for the last year or two better than I did during the Trump era, politically, I would say. Maybe that's just me, but I don't really want to revisit the Trump era. I'm shocked that anybody does. Like, you really want to go through that again? Where it's just a fucking fracturing everybody, polarizing everybody, getting people pissed at each other. It's not conducive to anything. So anyway, yeah, Citizen Kane used to be the greatest movie ever made. Now it's just, I don't know, old-fashioned or something. That's it. That's all I'm going to talk. Well, let me get a 45. I'll talk about Citizen Kane till 45. This will be a 45-minute live. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Sorry to, you know, discourage anybody from watching. Oh my God, I wasn't using my headphones. How's my audio? Is the audio good? I'm sure it's okay, right? I should have been using the headphones though. Whoops. The iconic. Okay, Cannonball. Is it sound okay? Cannonball has the most amazing touring schedule. Great. You really have life figured out. That is like, next year I'm going to set that up. Like, that is beautiful. I applaud you. Cannonball. The great Cannonball Statman. We're honored to have you watching in the comments. It's all about touring Europe in the spring and in the fall. And hitting those UK dates, playing Belgium. Thank you. System Lord, we're looking for gigs. System Lord hasn't played in a few weeks. We got to get System Lord going on. Yeah, System Lord UK tour. We gotta take. I think in Europe they'd understand us. These American audiences. There you go. There you go. Exactly. Spring and fall are the most important times to tour the UK and mainland Europe. Exactly. That's what I've noticed. All the smartest New Yorkers, all like the New York lifers. Like we were in line in Paris to get back from Paris to get back to New York, and we ran into Devin Braja Waldman, who's a saxophone player, and he was on tour in Europe. And I was like, okay, all the New Yorkers go to Europe in like April and May and shit because, like, why wouldn't you? You're in New York all winter. You're hitting New York. You're hitting New York. You're hitting New York all through the winter, and then boom, the weather gets nice, so you go on tour. Oh, the festival circuit. I see. Okay. We got to get on the. We're doing a college tour. That's our current move. We're doing Yale. We're going to Yale. That's right. I'm reading at Yale, everyone. They booked me. This was something that somebody asked me to come and do this, okay? At Yale University, where Indiana Jones is a professor, okay? We're going directly to the Skull and Bones. We're going to be reading our poetry directly to the Skull and Bones and the future Illuminati, the future leaders of this country. We have to get our message. They have to see our profound consciousness expanding message. So we're going directly to the Skull and Bones, reading to the future George W. Bushes and John Kerry's. It's not university affiliated, I don't think, but it's there. It's at Yale. The people are Yale people. So, and then we're doing Columbia. Thank you, Ashley. It's really Ashley. Ashley's the only, obviously, I'm sure everybody can see this. I'm sure everybody, it's very obvious. But Ashley believes in me. So she understands me. She's it's a magical time. Let's just say that. So we were on this, amazing. With Sam Simon. Sam Simon's super cool. Shout out to Sam Simon. I think that's his name. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Ashley is the force behind a lot of things. We got to give Ashley credit. She is amazing Sam Sinclair. That's right. Exactly. Sam Sinclair. An amazing guy. Amazing. I met him at the Olive Garden in Times Square, where my birthday, the AI birthday, my 38th birthday, the AI birthday. Okay, so I'm no longer a part of the precariat. I'm actually an employee of some kind, although I'm sure I will have no health care of any kind. Or I won't be able to see a dentist, but at least I'm a W-2, okay? I would prefer that they just take the taxes out. Just take the fucking money so the government sees it, and then they don't bother me, I don't, maybe I'll even get a refund, but, like, just take the money. I'd rather they just take the fucking money, So that way I'll never get in trouble. Yeah, so anything else? Yeah, the college tour, we're adding more dates. If anybody has any hookups with any colleges, maybe we got to go to Princeton, maybe. We're doing the Ivy League. We're doing all the Ivy League. We're going to Harvard, obviously, Is Brown Ivy League? I don't even, that's how dumb I am. I don't even know what the Ivy League universities are. I'm an idiot. I went to a state school. I went to a Big Ten school. Okay? I'm proud of my, half my brain on tour is just numbers. Oh, interesting. Nice. I've heard that crossing the borders is like a nightmare. They really hassle you at the borders with like equipment, and that's one of the like things that sucks the most about my lifetime is I remember when you could go to Canada, you didn't need a passport. The idea you needed a passport to go to Canada was insane. Oh, wow. They hassle you regardless. See, Cannonball Statman, I've never been on tour. Touring seems like, that's always been my goal. Touring seems like the most amazing thing. That is like the life. That is the life that I want to carve out for myself. That's the next move. That's why I'm trying to get big on the internet, obviously, with my, I had 3 viewers at one point and my one like. But yeah, you used to be able to go to Canada, just go in. I remember once my family was in Niagara Falls, right? Buffalo. And the whole family just went to Canada on a whim to see the Ripley's Believe It or Not museum. You can't do that anymore. It's a police state. It's border patrol. They're building a wall. Trudeau is building a wall. Canada's not even illegal to tour without a visa unless you're... There you go. But the immigration control people that... Yeah. It's like... It's crazy that now there's all this red tape and they want to check... What? They want to make sure you're not selling stuff there or something. You're not buying things there. Or like... They don't want you... They think your equipment is like... They searched our car for hours at the Canadian border in 2014 because they found rolling papers. See, give me a fucking break. We were crossing back from Canada once, and maybe this was in the wow. They even searched Cannonball Statman's hair. Now, that's an invasion of your fucking rights. I'm sorry. This is not the world that I wanted. This was not the world that we grew up in. I mean, maybe it was, but it seems like it's tightened a lot. You supposedly used to be able to ride on an airplane without even, like, a ID. You could just tell them any name you wanted. Oh, my name's Ric Flair. I'm on the next flight. Ha ha. And they just give you a steak or whatever in the middle of the flight. Now it's like my name was spelled wrong on the ticket, or they mixed up my middle name and my first name, and like I got detained for like 45 minutes. They searched my bags and shit. It's like, come on. Like, thanks a lot, 9/11. This is the gift that never forgetting keeps on giving. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, it's a hip-hop world, and we're the furniture. They're tightening all the borders, everyone. It's crazy. I don't... we want a one-world government. We want a borderless... The leftists want a borderless world. Well, I knew I was going to... So I've been doing 52 minutes. All right. I have to get off. I have to eat. I have to get work done. I have to check my emails, everyone. Now that I'm a responsible W-2... Now that I've been given human dignity by being onboarded into the tax code. Thank you, Cannonball. You're a legend. I look forward to the show. Thank you so much for having me. Once again, I know I'm a controversial choice. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but that's the job. We're catalyzing, we're stirring it up. We're trying to confront people and shock them out of their stupor and their post 9/11 complacency and their, numbness. All right. Yeah, we miss you. We miss you a lot. The days of 99-cent pizza. That's been one of the most amazing things about the open mic, is just all of the different stages it's morphed through. Even though it seems like it's this kind of stationary thing that happens the same room, same time every week, the amount of different eras, we got to do an open mic eras tour. That'll be one of the Mike-tober themes. We'll do the eras tour, okay? I know people are not psyched about the My Dinner with Andre theme. I don't care. It's for me. I have to do something for me. Okay? This one's for me. So I would love it if anybody did any kind of My Dinner with Andre related material. You get extra credit. I'll bump you to the top of the fucking list if you have a My Dinner with Andre anything. If you can play Sati, but we'll do an eras tour, the open mic eras. The 99-cent slice post show with Cannonball and Aiden Watson and Ashley. That was like February, March, April. That was an important time for all of us. Cannonball would just come in and rock the fuck out of the place. Yeah. That's insane. London, really? That's crazy. They don't have like a central open mic that's absolutely, yeah. Aiden Watson and Cannonball are the twin guitar gods, the twin troubadours that would just come in and rock the fuck out of the place and just kill, keeping the DIY scene alive, even in the extreme economic circumstances of Manhattan. My stepmom just sent me a text. Apparently, New York is a third world country. People, oh, I see. Interesting. Unless you are extremely rich and you live in ultra, lux Manhattan, or Brooklyn, right? Or Long Island City or whatever it is. The rest of us live in a third world country. I don't mind. I think this whole fucking United States is a third world country. Have you been anywhere? It's crazier out there. People are getting shot. It's insane. This country has fucking deteriorated over the last 20 years. And it is all the right wing's fault. I'm sorry. It's all the right wing, the Supreme Court, the way they slash taxes, the wars. The wars, man. The wars bankrupted this fucking country and made a lot of people insane. Yeah, like this fucking country is... The labor movement and all of that shit was why there was a middle class, right? That was why there was a good standard of living and there was upward mobility. You could build wealth by buying a house, right? Now they want to get rid of that. Actually, I hate to say this, but I was watching RFK Jr. and I would not vote for him if it was like Biden or whatever. I would still vote for Biden. But RFK Jr. was actually talking about this shit. And he was saying, when you have BlackRock, he was talking about BlackRock and Blackstone, these private equity firms that are buying up all the single-family houses in this country. And what they're doing is they're creating a society where you cannot build wealth. They want you to stay an indentured part of the precarious. They're destroying the middle class, basically. I mean, it's been happening, but it's systematic now. This is why they're building these houses, because if you're able to buy a house, which is sort of what the American dream is, actually, that's how you build wealth. You can use the house as collateral. The house might appreciate in value. They want to take that away from people. They want to take that ability away from people to keep you renting, to keep you working. They don't want you to have a retirement or a 401k or any of that. They just want to take all of the fucking money for themselves. These private equity firms, these asset management firms, people should really be looking at what they're doing. And they should be talking about what they're doing. Because they're running our whole fucking society. And they're why everything sucks. Not everything should be privatized. Not everything should be a fucking glass condo tower. Like, there should be a middle class. There should be fucking a way for people to have a dignified, potable drinking water, like you're saying. And small businesses, right, are the other part of this. You know, they don't want small businesses to succeed. You have to have so much fucking money to even start it. That's the tragedy of New York. You see it now, is it used to be you were an immigrant to this country, you could start a small business, potentially, in a storefront or something in New York City. In Manhattan, it's a lot harder to do this now. Now everything's a fucking Starbucks or... I mean, even in Manhattan, it's a Popeye's chicken. It's corporate, right? That's another way that they prevent anybody from rising above their class. And it's systemic. They don't give a fuck about small businesses. They want them to fail, you know? Because the corporations run everything. And the rich people own the Supreme Court justices. And so... it's the Eras Tour at Monday Open Mic. Yeah, all the eras. I mean, the early era, last Mike-tober, we had Brendan Lorber. That was a magical time to see the thing sort of blossoming and sort of, I didn't really expect it to even be like a big thing, actually. Like the fact that it like sort of blew up into this thing, I would be happy to do. Don't get me wrong, it's absolutely perfect and I love it and I want it to be a huge thing. But like, I also would like to do an open mic that's like, not as expensive for people and give people more time, a little more relaxed, not quite as like, when you get that many people and talk about eras, that's another era. In the winter of last year, the deep winter, February, March, that's when it was really like swelling with people. And I loved it. I mean, it was really amazing to just see people all over the floor and stuff. That's what you want. But at the same time, that creates a lot of pressure all of a sudden because you feel the squeeze of that. I've been thinking a lot recently about performing in a room with an audience and how different that is. You feel their reactions and I know maybe it's just a self-deprecation thing, but a lot of time you assume maybe they're like judging you or being negative about you or something because they're not laughing or, you don't know what they're thinking. Actually, you're just kind of feeling this kind of mob. It's energy. You're feeling a group energy. And as your job as an entertainer, I think it is to lead that. That's what I'm learning. And getting good at how to do that. And being fearless about talking to people. But does that ever go away? This sort of animosity or this us and them. That's why I thought that Odenkirk thing was so interesting. To hear him say, fuck the audience. Fuck that audience, like, not the audience is not always right. And that doesn't make it any less fun. I think that's the adventure of being a performer, right? Is like every time it's different and you never know what's going to, even Dana Carvey bombs, even these guys that have been doing it forever. It's like it still happens. That's part of what's humbling and what's important about walking the path of live performance and being dedicated. It's like what Norm said. Rodney Dangerfield told him, all these movies, all these TV shows, commercials, it's all shit. Stand up, that's the only thing, kids. Stand up, that's the only thing. And I think to some degree, that's kind of a good way to look at it. Like, the commitment, what do we do with the days of our lives? This is our job. The nightlife. I was talking to the owner of Hellphone about this. Like, this has been my realization over the past couple of years. It's like, I think I'm meant to work in like the nightlife industry. I like the nightlife. I like throwing parties. I've been doing it in New York for almost 10 years. These open mics are not necessarily anything new. I've been doing events like this for a long time. It's just having a public kind of portal into something that more people might pay attention to is like what's different. It's always been private house shows, but I've always gotten big crowds and stuff to come out, and I've always thrown these big shows. It's just there was no permanent kind of public display of it where we could build a following. And, KGB is so famous and kind of known and iconic in its own right that that's what brings people in. People want to perform there, and it's a great room. So we're very lucky. It's the ultimate place we could be doing that on the Eras tour. But, there was the Bob Dylan week. There was summer school era. That was super fun, A lot of people left in May. Our last really huge show, we had a couple big shows over the summer. But our last like massive show, I would say, was like the prom show maybe last May. It's starting to get big. Yeah, the Frank O'Hara birthday. See, little shit like that does like differentiate it and make it memorable, I feel. And so my dinner with Andre week, maybe people won't remember it, but it was the 1 year anniversary. The anniversary show, that was a special one. The we kind of shot our with the 6-month anniversary, because the 6-month anniversary was so special. That was such a great show. And it was a little preemptive. I mean, who celebrates 6 months, teenagers in relationships or something. Like, 6 months is not really anything, but it was kind of a joke. But it was a special night anyway. I like any excuse to wear a tuxedo. and I like it when other people dress up. I wish more people dressed up. I wish it would become more of a thing, you know. As entertainers, I think that's our job, is to look cool and to look interesting and to look charismatic. And that's part of turning pro, I think, is figuring out every little part of how you want to present yourself on stage. And the open mic is the workshop for that, you know. The shows downstairs in the actual KGB bar were super amazing over the holidays last year. The holiday tour last year, I had the Christmas show. Then we did the 2 shows downstairs, which were really magical. I'd like to do more shows downstairs, actually. We go on tour to the downstairs because that room, I think, really, it pops. You know, it's very, very photogenic, and it brings people in. When people say that, they go, whoa, I want to perform there. I love the Red Room, but its vibe is amazing. It's an amazing space, you know. Um, you know, the Weezer cruise, of course, the late summer Weezer cruise, the dog days of summer era. The Twin Peaks show, the President's Day show, the Deep Winter, the puppets, the ventriloquists, the magicians, this escaping. You know, every week there's something amazing. The Sing Ya era, of course, the Sing Ya residency. We've been really lucky. You know, even though a lot of people haven't wanted to come out, you know, it's been a different audience in the summer. It kind of crisscrosses in a way, and that's cool. It's been cool to embrace a different thing. We had a great run of comedy nights actually in July, where all these comedians would show up kind of later, and we had these amazing shows that were like these rollicking kind of comedy. It turned into a comedy club, you know, because we had to get something exciting going on, creating an energy any way we can, you know. And so some nights that might be through, you know, having puppets on the show or something. Some nights it might be from the Weezer cruise. Some nights it turns into a comedy club, you know. And so in the summer we've had a different audience, you know. People from school go home. A lot of people go out of town. People go on tour. But new people come in. People come into New York. Free paintings came in kind of at the beginning of summer. We love free paintings. One of our favorites. Of course, the summer concert series, the Easy Paradise Summer Concert Series, is something I'm really proud of, actually. I thought that was super fun, all the events, and actually was a good body of work. All the events we put on this summer at different clubs throughout the city, you know, Young Ethel's, Long Island City, the local, the Jefferson Market Library. Those shows have been really special. It's about creating memories, you know, and trying to, you know, distribute the vibe and the messages to as many people as possible. And so Claire Donaher, of course, coming in this summer has been a big. Mo Patel, you know, they've brought a lot of energy and presence and craft, and we love having them. Victoria Schwa, of course, has been amazing. You know, that's what another thing that's beautiful about it is like a TV show where it goes on, but you have new characters coming in, you have people leaving, you have weaving in and out, you know, you have people coming back after a long time, you know. I know a lot of people, when they come back now, they go, whoa, I haven't been here in forever. But we've been there every week, and there's been a lot of exciting things happening. I try to put it online for people to check it out if you can't make it in person. I don't know what that's like as a viewing experience to people who weren't there. You know, if you watch the video online of the open mic and you weren't there, is it actually interesting to watch, or is it just too lo-fi? I don't know. For a normal person to be interested in, but I do try to distribute it in the no budget, lo-fi, because your economics are your aesthetics, and I wear them proudly on my shoulder. I like being no budget. Yeah, John King. I think that's really important. You know, Norm was talking about the difference between Letterman and Carson, and he was like, now in late night you have 5,000 Carsons, you have no Letterman. I think that's true, because when you watch Letterman, it was really late night. You'd have weird stuff. You'd have Harvey Picard on there. His show was a different vibe than Johnny Carson's show. Johnny Carson's show was this kind of like big, he was almost like a CEO or something. He was like chairman of the board. It was friendly to, it was just a friendly, open show, kind of for middle America. It was funny, there were skits, but it wasn't really like weird or eccentric. Late night with Letterman was experimental. It was sort of avant-garde. It was on Larry Bud Melman, shit like that. And so having John King on, that's New York to me. That's one of the most important parts of the show. Is like I want to bring new people in who maybe are new to the city or they're tourists, and I wanted them to see like this is John King. This is what New York is. John King, and he's just amazing. I think his act is one of my favorite acts. I love his voice. I love his whole attack. I love what he talks about. I love that shit. To me, my heart is with those people. People like Ken Mills. I don't know if you knew Ken Mills. Ken Mills was my favorite open mic. He would always perform a cappella. Walking Heart was his song. And he would just sing these beautiful songs a cappella. To my walking heart. They were kind of like these big bombastic kind of brill building. Yeah. Yeah, John King just rips hard. But a lot of people probably see him and go, what? That guy, a lot of the new East Village, the kind of like financier children or whatever, the frat bro East Village, they might see it and be like, that was scary. That's also kind of part of the point. Is like that is the East Village, And to have that texture is very important to me. Having people like Ed or Matthew Silver who are bringing some kind of weird avant-garde, dissonant, not just trying to placate the audience or appeal to people, bringing kind of an eccentric wavelength. I feel like I exist on that wavelength, which I don't really present that way. I look like just like the ultimate whitey guy, like I look like the Weezer guy, I just look like a nerd. But then I do my act and people go, what the fuck? This guy's insane. Because I feel like I'm more like people like John King. But then there's people like Jason Trachtenberg and Cannonball who are like really, that's an important part of the lineage too. Because you guys have really been in New York and you've been to the Sidewalk Cafe open mics. And, yeah, exactly. The rent control apartments are what keep it alive. There's still a foundational community there of that energy. And that's what you try to tap into, by having Jeffrey Lewis come out. That's like a special thing, or Sparrow, for crying out loud. Having Sparrow just walk into the open mic is totally nuts. Like, this dude is a genius legend. Like, and that's what New York is, His sound, the Fomola thing. And the way that Sparrow, the way that Sparrow performs with this kind of like precarious, it's like the Fugs or Thule Kupferberg or whatever, keeping that kind of junk store, ramshackle, New York, the Sidewalk Cafe, right? That kind of thing. You guys have seen it all. You've lived it. You've been through all these different scenes, all these different open mics, the lo-fi, or the anti-folk. I got here right at the very, very end of that. I saw it. I moved here in 2010 and had visited a bunch of times throughout the 2000s. So I definitely could recognize that texture, even as it's been kind of vacuumed out of the East Village. It's still there a little bit. The community gardens, a lot of the older poets and things, the Poetry Project, of course. They still have their places. Richard Hell, my friend Greg Masters, they still live in the building Allen Ginsberg lived in. John Godfrey. Yeah, right. The 2010s. So, yeah, just like keeping that moving, keeping it happening, and weaving this thing all together in one room. Like the open mic is, it looks like it's just this totally open thing, but like there is like a subtle choreography to the sort of body politic of it, as far as like seeing the value of what everybody brings and seeing how it fits into the structure of like New York City culture. That's why I've been diving into stand-up comedy and spending time with those guys, because like as a kid I loved that culture. So to get to participate in it and to get to see what it's like feels it's romantic, but it's also like I want to understand where they're coming from as performers so I can help them connect with people better. They should be able to connect with an audience. But keeping the New York thing a big part of it, but bringing in new people. I'm from Ohio, so I've had a lot of I've been meeting all these comedians from Ohio. Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot. Joe Briggs from Cleveland. Mo Patella's from Cincinnati. He wore these fucking Bengals pants last Monday. I'm from Columbus, so we have the 3 C's of Ohio. That feels magical to me. I follow that kind of stuff. That felt important. The fact, that came in the summer. Those guys just started coming in like July. Weren't even there in January or whatever when it was super packed. So they don't even know what that's like. They've been coming every Monday when it's like there's 30 or 40 people there, which is still great. But they don't even, so it's like, but also I'm following that, the dude's from Cincinnati, I'm from Columbus, the other guy's from Cleveland. That feels special to me. That feels like something, that's like a project. I am sort of like this, I don't know, school principal. So I am kind of like, oh, nice, Red Roof Inn. My Uncle Tony used to work for Red Roof Inn, and he would travel around the country like building Red Roof Inns. That's hilarious. I think I know where that Red Roof Inn you're talking about. It's probably on campus. Is there a graveyard nearby? And a Kroger? Yeah. But yeah, so I am sort of focused on trying to cultivate my show, but going out to other people's shows is an important part of that. And I haven't been, over the summer, I wasn't as good about that. I wanted to take a little break. Porter's Pub. Amazing. Wow. Do you like Columbus? What are your thoughts on Columbus? I'm always, because, not everybody's been there, so I'm very curious what people think. It's got a great music scene, so for musicians that go on tour there, it's, I think, usually a pretty cool experience. So bringing the Ohio energy. Ohio represent. I know New Yorkers hate Ohioans more than like anything. There's nothing more cliche than moving to New York when you're from Ohio. It's definitely the worst place to move to New York from, I feel like. It's just like the most obvious. Oh, you're from Ohio? Oh, of course you are. It's like, we don't need more of you. Please, no more of you. Stop coming here. Akron. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, Akron will kill you. That's for sure. I've never actually even been to Akron. I've driven through Akron on, many, 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 many times, but I've never actually stopped there. I've always wanted to, but I never have. That's the interstate culture. You don't actually see anything except billboards and FM radio. Oh my God, amazing. That sounds like Northeast Ohio. Yeah, it's the Eras Tour coming up, guys. Maybe I should have did the Eras Tour before My Dinner with Andre week. But, whatever. I gotta, it was just, I gotta follow the inspiration as it comes. It felt like a good time to do My Dinner with Andre. It's autumn. Kind of feels like an autumn movie, so. Look forward to the Eras Tour. We've had an amazing Billy Cancel. Billy Cancel comes to the open mic. It's incredible. Having Hannah Packman. One of the best things about it is when people come in from out of town, they always stop in. So you'll see a few people like, 3 times a year, but it's kind of spaced out. Christian Capadonna. of course, was a huge part of it. Having Christian Capadonna come in from Miami, Romy Petite, having Romy Petite from New Orleans was really special. Paint his face, and he has an amazing act. Um, I feel honored and just like lucky to be able to put these people on stage. They really deserve it. Um, and so the goal is to do a great show. I mean, that's one reason why I have an algorithm to decide the order, because the ultimate goal is to do a great show so that everybody's there, loves the show so much they're not quite so worried about when am I going to get to perform and is it my turn yet. You're not doing a great show when people are coming in asking you, hey, can I get up? I got to get out of here. So I mean, you do it, there. Luckily, it's Manhattan, New York City, so you have unbelievably talented people. I mean, it's very rare that we have people that are just like kind of fucking up. Almost everybody that performs like is really amazing, and then some people are even beyond that. But it's rare that you have somebody that really just like fucks up really bad. Even the comedians like know their material and shit. Even if they don't always get on with the audience, it's like they're pretty professional about their. I've never had anybody's manager talk to me. I'm still that I look forward to. I mean, if Ed Sheeran walked in or something, he might want to go first. But I don't think I would listen. I'm not opposed to putting somebody on first, because the thing is, not everybody wants to go to that slot. So a lot of times with the first slot, if somebody walks in and they want to go up, I'll be like, yeah, you can go up, but you have to go first. And some people love that challenge and some people don't. And so people that have signed up in advance, they don't want to go first a lot of the time. They want to go fourth or fifth, or they want to go at like 9:45 after the crowd is warmed up and things are kind of rolling. They don't want to go right away, because a lot of times that slot, like, it is kind of weird. It is like you might not do that great if you're not ready for it. But certain things, music is usually probably the best thing to put first, I guess. Dude, I love doing open mics where there's like 12 people. I don't really like, it's just a lot of pressure. With the Red Room, it's like, I'm used to it now, so I don't really get nervous as much anymore, because it's like, I feel comfortable in front of, yeah, Sidewalk. Every time I went on at Sidewalk, I went on like 1 a.m. or something. Same with Under St. Mark's. That's why I stopped going, because it's just too much. It's too strenuous of a gauntlet. But that's what's beautiful about it. It's just like, it's this unbelievable parade of just like amazing performers. Yeah, exactly. I don't love having to sit through everything, but not always. I mean, if I knew I was going to go on late, I may go in and out of the event. It's hard. It is hard. Like Under St. Mark's, the thing that was tricky about it is like you don't know when you're coming up. So I guess like, and it's like a lottery. So it's like, it's totally, we always got real bad luck in the lottery. With my thing, it's like I do try to be fair to people. If somebody went on late, I'll try to put them on early next time, and vice versa. If you went on early last time, I'm sorry, but like you're probably gonna have to go on late this time. Like, I can't have the same 20 people who sign up early every week go up first. Like, I got to get new people in. I don't want to have new people come out and not get to go up. Because it's sort of like an audition when you go up, like, if you do a great job, I will put you up in prime time, but like, if I don't know you, and I hate to say it, but like comedians, like, I'm sorry, but like they do get the shit end of the stick, because to be honest, they're the only ones that, like, if it goes bad, it's going to really fuck your show up, because they might get weird with the audience or something. And so, and to be honest, most people don't even want to see it. And so there's not that many of them who know how to get like the audience really on their side. So it's always like an X factor. And so I hate to say it, but like, unless you're like really proven and like really are going to do a good job, or it's just like, I mean, if you're a regular or something, that's a different story. If you're a regular, it's like, of course I'm going to try to put you up early, you know, some of the time, because it's like you're spending tons of money, you know. um God damn, these 5-minute live streams, fuck, there goes my whole day. um So it's not totally based on when you, but it's mostly based on when you signed up too. If people signed up early, I am going to try to get them earlier. So that is a factor. You know, if you signed up early and I put you on really late, I'm sorry, you know, but it's either because you've been getting a lot of time early, or you just like are causing some kind of problem with the audience or something. You know, like certain people, if they're really just negative or something, it's like I'll put them up early occasionally, but like I'm not going to put them up early that often. It's like whereas, you know, if I know that you're like really a good act, it's like I'm going to be a little more sympathetic to that, you know, especially if you have to work the next day or whatever. The thing I really don't like is when people come up and try to like boss me around or like hover around the console. If you're like standing near me, like, yo, when am I gonna get up? It's like I hate that, you know, more than anything. So, I don't know. I do want to apologize for people for just being, I don't know, throwing shade people's way or getting jealous or seeming like an egomaniac or a narcissist or anything. If I seem that way, you know, like the way that I look at it, I do, you know, I don't get paid that much money to do this. And a lot of weeks during the summer, I didn't make anything because we didn't hit our target or whatever, or we didn't hit the amount that we need. So it's like, this is something that I'm just doing. Thank you, Burger Boy. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for watching. I'll go to 90 minutes maybe. And so I'm not trying to be like the kingpin or whatever, but it's like I'm probably a little too career oriented, you know. I love being on stage. I'm trying to make it a job. I'm trying to make it. We all are, right? I mean, and so by putting, you know, to be fair, I put tons of fucking people on stage, you know, and I put a lot of people on stage many times, you know, a lot of these people that are booking shows and stuff. It's like, I've probably put you on stage 10 or 15 or times in front of a lot of people, probably, you know. And I'm not doing it to get favors out of anybody. That's not why I do it. But if you're going to book a show and you're going to book people who are on the open mic, the least you could do is think of me for your show, because that is why I do this. I do this because I'm trying to become a professional entertainer. And so coming up to me and be like, dude, thank you so much, you're a great host, is awesome. But like, thank you for doing this. It's like, yeah, give me money, give me weed, or book me on a show, okay? It's that simple. Don't buy me a drink, give me money, give me weed, or book me on a show, period. Like, I'll come to your show and I'll freak everybody out like I did at Hellphone. I don't know. You know, I'm not trying to be like some gangster of fucking... But also, it's weird because it creates all this animosity, because I do feel like... yeah, exactly. I don't... a lot of times when I do featured sets, the audience doesn't like me. Or they, you know, especially you know, a lot of times I'm coming at it from such a left field thing that I'm just doing something that's so different that it just doesn't, it jars. I mean, not only in poetry. Thank you. A gangster of poetry. Exactly. That's what yeah. But that's not a bad thing necessarily. And I feel like I'm going over people's heads. I hate to say it, but like, I do work hard on what I do. I try to make it work for people as much as I can, but like, I'm also serious about what I do. I take what I do very, very seriously, and I do all my own ideas. I do what I think is going to work, and I do what I believe in. I don't know if it works or not. Maybe it's just avoidance tactics, but I get it why you might not necessarily book me, but you should. um, and it is, I don't know, it is, how would you feel? If everybody's coming to your thing every week, they act like you're so fucking cool, oh, this is amazing. They're just using you basically to get in front of 80 people because they have nothing else to do. And then summer comes along, everybody leaves, they start their own thing, they're all competing with you. They're all taking away your audience. This is what I want to do. I want to have a nervous breakdown on stage. This is what I've been wanting to do forever. I want to get on stage and just let it out. I just want to have the network speech. And I just said, I love that everybody's starting events. I love that people are starting open mics. I think that's amazing. And I'm not taking credit for that or anything. But I don't get it. I just don't get it. But I do get it. This is one reason why I'm like a little bit apprehensive to sign on for stuff when people ask me. Because also I don't want charity, right? I don't want people booking me just because I complained about it, which I do feel like is what people did. Which is fine. I mean, I'll take it, definitely. But it's sad that I have to do that even. I feel ashamed of myself. I feel embarrassed. And it didn't even work. I mean, it just creates awkwardness between me and people because people expect me to support what they're doing. It's like I'm the bad guy when I don't support their shit. It's like, well, you didn't book me on it. And you're competing with me. And you're not coming to my thing. So what am I supposed to do? I'd love to come to your event, but this is my focus. It's my focus to keep this running, to keep it moving, however I have to do that, And so if that means bringing in new people, being hospitable to new people, that's what it is. It is a revolving door, to be honest. Manhattan, there's always people coming into the city, tourists, people to visit, people on residencies like Singya, right? That's our job. Our job is to give those people the best possible showcase we can, while at the same time giving the regulars and the locals the best possible showcase we can. But it's also like when you get during the winter, the problem I was having was I had regulars who expected VIP treatment every week. They expected to go up early. It's like, well, I can't do that because I have all these fucking people coming in. I got to get new people up. I got to get them having a good time. And why should I give people special treatment if they're not going to do something for me? Like, you're making my life harder by asking me to go up early, That is hard. And why should I? You're not giving me anything. You're buying 2 drinks from the bar. Good for them. I get paid a flat rate, maybe, if I hit a target, So I'm part of the precariat at that job. And so I need to bring in money, right? If I want to get paid. Otherwise, I'm just doing all this fucking work for nothing. I'm just putting 40 fucking people on stage and running, a 5-hour show every week. Putting out tons of great energy for everybody that you love so goddamn much, you fucking fair weather fans. No, I'm just kidding. It is meant to be a revolving door, and it is seasonal. There are seasonal migration patterns to humanity, but for me, it has been about consistency and about hitting it every fucking week and being dedicated to it and learning and developing it by doing it repetitively, right? And so I have to, that's my number one priority. You know, certain people don't make it easier because they want a lot of your time, but I'd love to go out to everybody's events, but now there is all this like weird kind of ego complication and shit where it's like I feel passed over. I feel like certain people got more attention than me, got liked better than I did. You know, if you're going to come to my open mic and cherry pick the best acts, how do you think that makes me feel? You know? You're stealing, basically. You know, that's free work that I'm doing for you. You know, this is not arbitrary, you know? I am scouting shit. I am out there listening to people, watching people, looking at their social media and saying, "Oh, this person's good." Or this, you know, this, that. And I love introducing people to each other. That's why I do this. I do this because that's kinetic, that's creative, that's how culture happens. This person meets this person. Oh, you should know each other. Boom, they go start a thing. They go start a band or those Cowboys, right? And meeting thousands and thousands. So it's like, I love doing that. It is hard to stay in the circuit of what everybody's doing. That's why it would be nice if people invited me, right? If people invited me to come do things without me having to ask. Now it's like, oh, I have to ask, and now it looks like I like bullied you. And my act is already fucking like abrasive enough that, like, to be honest, I don't want to come do a feature if you think it's going to be fucking weird or you don't want me. You know, book Ed. Have him come talk about sucking his balls or whatever. You know, to be honest, I think it's a little lowest common denominator. That's not what I do. What I do is not lowest common denominator, okay? And I know I'm talking shit, but like I'm trying to be an intellectual and be fucking highbrow and shit in the dumbest way that I can. That's why I put everything online. I try to have like a pop sensibility, but I'm also trying to work at like a serious level for adults. I'm not like South Park, you know? And so I get why certain people get booked. I get it. Their acts are like super agreeable and like in vogue and shit. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. You've been around it, so you understand the angles that I'm coming at it from. You know? And nobody likes to be left out, right? Of anything. Especially when, people are blowing so much hot smoke at you about, wow, thank you for this. A lot of people did the first reading they ever fucking did at the open mic. And then they steal your idea, Yeah, right. Exactly. So it's just like everything in our economy now. Certain people get everything, and the rest of us are, poor. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that bitter about it. I'm not. I'm just trying, I do think that this is something that I need to talk about and clarify and just like communicate to people is like, because I'm happy about what people are doing, but I also can't be at everything. And now it just feels weird, like it just feels weird to go, especially with poetry stuff. I just feel like I kind of stick out and people treat me like I'm some kind of weird, I love it that people give me like a special ovation or something. That makes me feel great. But also it's like, they still don't like what I do. They just like that, like, oh, interesting. Feast or famine. Oh boy, my 5 minute live stream turned into 2 hours. I should have known this was gonna happen. Fuck. I really have to start editing this video. But we're in this weather emergency, so and I'm having this great conversation with my old friend Cannonball. Oh, I see. Okay. I get what you're saying. So you have to see, that's why I made that post. I wasn't making that post like bitch anybody out or make anybody feel bad. I was just trying to kick the spurs a little bit, you know? That's what they're for. It wasn't, but I do feel like people turned on me. I do feel like a lot of people went, wait a minute, this guy thinks he owns us or something. And if people book us, they've got to book him, which is not what I was saying. You know? I'm not trying to like force my way into any situation where people are going to be like uncomfortable to have me and think, oh God, we got this loud, screaming guy who his poetry sucks and he's high and he thinks he's awesome and he's running around, and we don't need that. Let's get somebody who's like, calm and vulnerable and more traditional, gonna do what a poet typically does in our current boring, sensitive landscape. I'm not trying to be like a bro or a thug or like disrupt anything. It's just like I chase my energy and that's where it takes me. I listen to my impulses on stage. Whatever idea I have, I do it, because I feel like I have to. And it's rock and roll. I don't think people want to be rock and roll anymore. I think it's I do get a lot from that era, rockabilly and shit like that. And I don't necessarily think that that's new, The reason why I put so much energy out is to catalyze people, I am trying to throw energy around the room to get you. And so like it is, it's great that people are starting their own events and have been doing their own events and have left me far behind. And I'm no longer, but that's also the thing with life in show business is like sometimes you're hot and sometimes you're not. And I'm not saying that we're not hot anymore. I'm very proud of all the work that I've been doing. To be honest, nothing has ever, I've always done a lot of shows and I've always done what I'm doing now. It's just for that little period of time, last winter or whatever, people really gave a fuck. And they still do. I mean, we're still getting good crowds. We're getting reviews. It's amazing. It's not any less hot, but the novelty wears off and you get competitors, like anything. If you start an idea that works, all of these other fucking people come in to try to steal your business. Which is I'm kidding. These are all jokes. This is sarcasm. Yeah, I mean, well, this is something that's happening with the entertainment industry and like theater. You're really seeing it in theater where all of these spaces are closing down. All of these laboratories and all of these regional theaters and shit, because the pandemic just kind of sunk people financially. So that's one reason why the venues are playing hardball so much, because they need to make money coming out of the pandemic and shit. And like, that's part of this, right? Like, it is about having like a renaissance of nightlife. And there's a whole generation of people who are Ashley's age who are only emerging into the fucking world. And they want to be, that's a big part of the KGB audience, is because it's in Manhattan. It's not Brooklyn, it's not the fucking J train. It's not Williamsburg. It's not Bushwick. It's NYU kids or, fucking people that live downtown, Pratt or whatever, New School, not Pratt, New School, who are in their early 20s, who like are just coming out of a pandemic, who want to get on stage and like, catalyzing those people and launching them and getting them rolling and getting them enthusiastic about doing shows and playing. And that's the job, that's exactly what I want to do. I mean, maybe I am just the portal. Maybe I am just like the the entryway to a more serious thing for people, and to, it is about them taking ownership of themselves. It would be great if people just started to do this everywhere, but I don't know. It's also like, I was never really the kind of person that I don't really socialize that well with groups. I'm always kind of like the loner guy who's, I'm never like at the cool fucking table with all the hot chicks and stuff. They generally, women don't like my act. Yeah. Millennials are domestic and their lives are gray. I won't do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm rock and roll energy. I won't surrender to the gray millennial Zuckerberg culture, the hoodie culture, the clinical depression and the drugs, the medications and the therapy. There you go. Millennials don't go outside. Truer words never spoken. We're traumatized. We're traumatized and overcoddled. Yeah. It's crazy. Everybody's under 30, definitely, for the most part, at the open mic. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily see, like, the roadmap for how to get successful for me. I just thought if we did this show, we'd cause a furor of an uproar. The media companies would hear about it. And there's been great word of mouth, right? That's been part of really, I think, what's been effective about it. Is word of mouth really is everything. And I constantly have people recommending people to come, and people telling me they heard about it through somebody else and that they should come and this and that. And that's not easy to do, right? And if you turn people's word of mouth against you, and they think you're a bitter, narcissistic egomaniac who's just trying to mafia, it is kind of a mafia. That's why I use the five families metaphor. It's like everybody has their turf. There's reason why the mafia divides it that way, because it's like, wow, French punk bands do stadium tours entirely on word of mouth. You have your different territories, right? These people have this night in this place. I've got this night in this place. And people might come at you and try to take that. How could that not be competitive? I don't know. I mean, there were personal fractures that happened in my own life, obviously, that divided me from the poetry scene, particularly in large, which I love all those people. I think they're all great. I don't have anything against anybody. Ed, nobody. I love all the Pete's people. They're all great. I love the Poetry's a Team Sport thing. But I got on the wrong side of that because it's, I live in fucking Midwood. It's not easy for me to get there. The last time I went to Pete's was in May, and they canceled it. So I ended up going to this fucking party in somebody's backyard, and everybody was there. I didn't get invited to it. So it's like, okay, these people don't think I'm cool. They're cool. I like them. If they, they maybe would invite me to stuff. But also, like I said, I've never really been good at being a part of a group. Before this open mic started, I loved, and what I did was I'd go to open mics by myself. I'd cause everybody to be sort of in a stir about my performance because they thought I was nuts. Sometimes people would like me. Usually I'd meet a girl sometimes. It was nice to be able to I'd go to Pete's, I'd go to Pete's by myself. Nobody liked what I did usually. I'd usually end up talking to some guy for 3 hours afterwards. None of the cool, hot people would talk to me. They were all nice for the most part, but like, none of the girls there liked me at all. They just thought I was a freak. And women don't like my act either, I don't think. I think they think that I'm like an attention hound who's just like screaming for attention, which, like, I guess is what I am, but, like, there's also a lot of content there. But women, I don't know, is it just my toxic vibe? I haven't gone out of my way the last few years to try to uh, go out of my way to communicate with women, which, to be honest, I'm not that good at it. So I do have to go out of my way. I just haven't really wanted to do that. And I'm sorry that they don't like what I do. I wish they did. I'm generalizing here. A lot of them do like what I do, but, like, my sense overall is that they don't love it always. But anyway, like, the thing with Ashley too, like, a lot of people think Ashley, like, throws shade at them and stuff. And, you got to understand, she is young and she's new to this world and she's probably a little overwhelmed. She's trying to protect, her own feelings and her own relationship and things. And so, like, I'm not taking sides or anything, but it does feel that way sometimes, where it's like you're either on that side or that side. And, to be honest, it does constrict my ability to be with people as much. It is important for me as mayor of open mic, or that's sort of like what I feel like my job is, or, like, jokingly, it is my job to sort of go out and shake hands with people and talk to people and meet new poets. And, it's also important for me to go to these open mics to show these motherfuckers that I can hold my own. I always have, even before this started. Like I said, I was going to open mics pretty much for the last 15 fucking years, pretty regularly. And I would always stand out, So just because I'm the host of this fucking thing, people kind of take for granted that I'm just a guy who's putting them on stage. But it's like, no, if I go to fucking Pete's, or if I go to fucking any open mic, Auto Shrunken Head, I'm gonna stand out. Poetry Project used to do open mics. I know that, like, what I'm doing has integrity. I can't help it that fucking they don't see it. And, Ashley does, so she believes in me. She helps me. She's smart. I recognize that immediately, that she is very gifted and very precocious and very talented. And so, I don't think it's entirely just like she, has a crush on me or affection for me or whatever. And so she's lying to me. I think I think it's part of what she sees what I'm doing, and she believes in it. And other people do not. They might say they like what I'm doing or whatever, but they don't really get it. They get it, but they don't appreciate it like she does. For whatever reason, she fully appreciates it, or at least says she does. Other people say they like what I'm doing, but it's like, I've been doing poetry pretty fucking seriously for the last 15 years. I've got a lot in this. And so I trust her opinion more than a lot of people's. And so I'm not trying to make value judgments or say that anybody's better than anybody else, but you resonate with certain people, and especially with poetry. I mean, you're finding out what frequency people are on immediately, because you're seeing all of their choices. You're seeing what they think about and how they want to present it in a very personal way. And there are a lot of people, I almost always at a reading see 2 or 3 people that I really fuck with. And then a lot of it sucks ass and I hate it. I think, I resent most poetry culture. That's why I'm trying to create my own venue space and my own sort of medium, because, like, most open mics I go to, they're lame and they're just, it's all about being very fragile and sensitive. And if you disrupt that, I feel like I'm some kind of fucking bronco or something coming in there. And it's just like, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just a romantic, okay? And I don't know. Maybe I am too focused on my career. Maybe I should be more with people. This job is about people. And it isn't about always bringing in new people. You know, it can be easy to just burn your bridges and get new relationships. But when you can hang in there with people and stay with them and build on those relationships, maybe that's a better choice for like longevity or something, a more adult choice, a more mature choice. You know, with this open mic, I'm not just trying to burn people out or something, but it's also like I only have a certain number of slots every week, and now I'm getting all this pressure to stop at a certain time. And so I have to limit the amount of people I can put on stage. So it's like, you know, there's two different things happening. I'm having personal relationships with people, and then I'm having, you know, open mic relationship with people where I'm trying to get ahead and get recognition as a performer, you know, and as an artist. And I'm not trying to bully anybody into doing that, you know. I wish they would just do it naturally. But it's also like, you know, if you don't communicate, like you said, if you don't communicate what you need, maybe people don't even fucking realize. So, I don't know. A lot of times, like my friend was asking me, how come whenever I ask you to do a feature, you stop talking? And it's like, well, because it just feels like I just cheated. You know, it feels like, oh, I had to ask you. And, you know, if you don't want me there and you feel like because, okay, you see them rush to get certain people. You know, they go out of their way. Oh, I got to book this person. Oh, I love this person. You know, they're not rushing to you. They're not rushing up to you afterwards and go, oh my God, I love that, man. Can I get you on my show? You know, you had to go, excuse me, could you maybe, you know, this one person in particular, and I love them. They're an amazing person. I don't have anything against them at all. I think they're great. I don't have any personal ill will or animosity toward them at all. But they always text me asking them if I'll do their open mic. And it's like, the thing is, I don't want to sign up in advance through a text. If I'm going to do it, I don't want to commit to anything and then not show up. The way that I do shit is it's just like, it's way more spur of the moment, way more spontaneous than that. So it's like, if I'm there that day and it fits in my schedule, I'll be there. But it's also frustrating me because you're asking me to sign up for your fucking open mic every month. It's like, I don't want to be on the goddamn open mic, you know, like, I know you're going to put me on super late after everybody is fucking, you know, and so it's like, clearly you don't think that I'm, you know, going to be as good as these other people. So, like, you know, I'm happy to come out occasionally and do my thing, but, like, no one is having some kind of super enthusiastic response about what I'm doing except Ashley. And then, you know, the magician guy said I was great. The hot magician, you know? Maybe that's just my place. Maybe I am like the poet's poet or something, you know? Maybe I am just like this niche fucking audience guy. I'm going to get off at 1:20. I'm actually going to get off because it's been 2 hours, and I really was only going to do 5 minutes. But the people just begged me, and I could not leave my audience. I just had to. So this is going to cost me tons of work time, and oh my God. Anyway, I got a job. It's the Eras Tour. I'm a W-2. Wow, we really covered a lot. I don't have any animosity or ill will toward anybody. Thank you, Tatiana, for getting me the gig at People Reading Funny Things. And that's what these people don't understand. It's like, if they literally booked me one time, I would love them forever. You know, like Claire Lichtenstein, you are fucking a VIP for life because of this hell phone gig. All, you know, and like, we're getting paid for it. It was a great experience. Even if she just did it, it's like, okay, when I worked in a restaurant, and I'll leave you with this, they had what we called concierge dinners, right? I worked in this restaurant. It was very expensive, very, very expensive, and it was not very good. But they do what they call concierge, where they give people who are concierge at hotels free dinners. All right, Cannonball. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your input. You're a legend. You're amazing. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for booking me. So concierge service, where they give these concierge free dinners. So the concierge comes in, and these were always VIP tables. They always get a good table. They get everything comped. They get the prefix. They get a wine pairing. Hell yeah. You're the man. Thank you for watching. Follow Cannonball Statman. Check out his tour. Check him out in Europe if you're there. Get out of the United States, for Christ's sake. It's a crumbling empire where the private equity is draining. Oh, I'm in overtime, everybody. So I'm going to leave you with this, the concierge. So the concierge table, they give the concierge a free prefix with wine pair, and they wine and dine them. You know, it's not, they don't go over the top, but like, you know, they tell you this is a concierge table because the concierge works at a fancy hotel. They're the concierge at whatever the fuck it is, Soho House or whatever it is, you know, Park Meridian, you know, a high-end hotel. So the idea being, the people who are staying in the hotel, they don't live here. They go to the concierge. They say, hey, do you know any good places to eat, right? Where should we have dinner? The idea is the concierge comes to your fucking place, has a great time. So when their clients, their customer, their guests come down and say, hey, where should we go to dinner? They go, oh, go to Megoob. I was there, you know, I had this amazing blah, blah, blah. And they send business your way, right? It is sort of an I scratch your back, you scratch mine, but it's also like that is the culture. That is how things work, you know? You come to my thing, I go to your thing, I perform it, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, for better or for worse, like, people do kind of know who I am through this open mic. And so I feel like it would only be good for their event to have me. And it's like a concierge dinner, right? I'll come, I'll promote your thing, I'll put it on my social media. You know, somehow I have over 2,000 followers. It's only going to be good for your thing. And then I'll give you VIP fucking treatment for life. Yeah. Ashley, you missed the whole thing. We were just talking about you. How you're the only one who believes in me. For real. I'm signing off. I'm about to sign off. I've been doing this forever. I have to sign off. I'm hungry. I need to eat. And I need to finish this video. But we are going to Yale. We're on our college tour. I've talked about it a lot. So, yeah. All you have to do is book me on one fucking thing. I'll make you a VIP for life. And I appreciate the people who have. You know, Joseph and the Severe Dudes, Claire Lichtenstein. I remember the names. You know? Okay, Ashley, thank you for watching. You're waiting for a bus to go where? Are you printing the things? Can I send you? Just print all my, print the Central Park check book, if you can. I don't know if you've done that yet, but, I don't know. I feel like to get dinner, where are you going to get dinner? Oh my God, it's really 5 o'clock? Okay, awesome. I need to start on this video. Fuck. So Ashley, I want you to play Wally in the My Dinner with Andre scene. You'll be Wally, I'll be Andre. And we'll just read from the script on Monday. That's how we'll start the show. We'll start with a scene from My Dinner with Andre. Okay, see you soon, Ashley. Love you, too. Thank you for everything. All right, wow. Here, we're reunited, guys, aren't we? Here we are. So, look forward to more literary content. Let's see. Let me get a book of the day. Book of the day is Maxfield Parrish. by Eileen Miles. If you can find this book, definitely get it. It's usually very expensive. I was supposed to buy a copy in Paris, France, but the owner of Berkeley Books of Paris forgot to bring it to the store, so I appropriated it. But this has all of Eileen Miles' early poems, which, for my money, are the best ones. So it's, you can't find them anywhere except in this book. And it's a Black Sparrow from like the 90s, so it's not that easy to find. And it's always expensive in our post pandemic upcycled collector economy. But it's got all of the early Eileen Miles poems, from Irony of the Leash and A Fresh Young Voice for the Plains. So, highly, highly recommended. That's the book of the day. Thank you for watching. Is there anything else we need to cover or talk about? Yeah, if you could just print the Central Park book. I don't know if you have any copies of my other, like PDFs or whatever, my other books, but any of them you want to print would be awesome. So, thank you. We'll talk soon. Is it still raining? Did it stop raining? I gotta charge my phone. Yeah. London fog. What? What's literally all they do here? Oh, wait for the bus? Oh my god. Okay, it's not raining. It's not raining. Maybe I should go get food and shit. Okay, is there anything else we need to talk about? This is sort of like a phone call at this point. I got hired at Poetry Project. I think they are going to give me actually sort of a position type thing, kind of, in a minor way. Okay, so I have to finish this video, or I have to at least like get rolling on it. So we'll see. It'll probably be pretty late. Yeah, I mean, it's not like a real job. It's like I'm basically doing what I did, but they're bringing me on as like a actual employee. They're giving me a W-2. So who the fuck knows, how far they're actually going to take that. But the point of it is, if you actually ask for shit, they'll give it to you, That's the moral of the story today. Because I sent this fucking email to the Poetry Project where I said I want credit and a little more money, they knew it. They knew that was fair, We're not asking for anything that's like they shouldn't already be giving us, to be honest. It's just learning not to eat shit from your employers, right? We're taught that we just need to eat shit, right? So I'm getting all my books. This is one of my favorite book covers. This is a White Castle on High Street. This is a Columbus, Ohio poetry book. Columbus and Central Ohio's best known, read, and requested poets. I just love that they did the cover, all these poets in a fucking White Castle. To me, that's my aesthetic. But the poetry is, it's what you'd expect, maybe. It's It's typical. It's sincere. All bad poetry sincere. My poetry is not sincere. Let's just say that. All right. Ashley says get started. Okay, well, if Ashley's saying get started, I'm going to get started. All right, thank you for watching. God bless. Have a wonderful day. Be safe. Stay dry. We'll see you in Yale. It's our Ivy League tour. We're doing all of the Ivies. We're bringing our poetry to all of the Ivies, so we're at Yale tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Ashley.